your whole heart, only to find out they were laughing behind your back the entire time. That's what happened to me. My wife of 8 years thought she could cheat, lie, and call it innocent fun. But when I discovered the truth, I didn't scream, I didn't throw things, I planned. And the moment I struck back, it was the kind of revenge she never saw coming. This is the story of how my marriage ended with a phone, a laugh, and the sweetest silence I've ever known. If you've ever been betrayed or disrespected, this story will hit you hard. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into one of the most emotionally satisfying revenge stories you'll ever hear. My name is Daniel. I'm 34 years old, and for a long time I believed I was living the dream. Stable career, a cozy home in a quiet neighborhood, and Emily, my wife, my partner, my best friend. We met in our 20s at a college party, bonded over bad pizza and sarcasm, and from that night on, I thought we were inseparable. For 8 years, Emily and I built a life together. Summers spent traveling, weekends curled up with movies and wine, a goofy Labrador that we spoiled like a child. We weren't perfect, but we rarely fought. Friends envied us. Family bragged about us. People would look at us and whisper, "That's what real love looks like." And I believed it too. Every word. But perfect? Perfect can be a mask. And behind that mask, something ugly was waiting. It started small. Little things that didn't make sense, but didn't scream betrayal either. Emily's phone, always face down on the table. Always on silent. She used to leave it lying around, open, no password. Suddenly, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. Notifications would light up the screen, and she'd swipe them away with a smirk. At first, I brushed it off. Everyone's entitled to privacy, right? But then came the late-night whispers. I'll never forget one night. 1:17 a.m. I woke up to the sound of her voice in the hallway. Soft, urgent, secretive. "Who are you talking to?" I asked, half asleep. She jumped, then forced a smile. "Work stuff, Daniel." Go back to sleep. But Emily wasn't a doctor on call. She was a graphic designer. Nobody was texting her about fonts at 1 in the morning. That's when suspicion started to fester. The breaking point came a week later. Emily was in the shower, her phone buzzing on the counter. For the first time in our marriage, I broke the unspoken rule. I looked, and what I found shattered everything. A string of messages from someone named Mike. "Last night was amazing. Can't stop thinking about you. When can we meet again?" And Emily's reply, "I miss you too." Same time next week? My hands went cold. My chest hollowed out. I wanted to believe I was misreading, that it was a joke, that Mike was a co-worker, and this was some weird banter. But the photos attached erased any doubt. The woman I trusted most was living a second life right under my nose. I didn't feel rage, not yet, just a crushing numbness, like someone had pulled the floor out from beneath me. Confronting her right away would have been easy. Screaming, demanding answers, throwing her stuff out onto the lawn, that would have been instinct. But deep down, I knew yelling wouldn't fix this. Emily had already crossed a line. She didn't respect me, our vows, or our life. So instead of exploding, I planned. I screenshotted everything. The messages, the photos, the dates. I organized them into a neat little folder labeled Evidence. The next morning, I met with a lawyer. Quietly, I moved half of our savings into a separate account. I secured the deed to the house. Every loose end, every safeguard, tied up. I was calm, cold, precise. And when everything was ready, I set the stage. "Let's do something nice tonight," I told her one morning. "Just the two of us." Dinner at home. She lit up. She thought it was romance. That evening, I cooked her favorite meal. Candles flickered on the table. Soft music played in the background. She wore the dress I'd bought her for our last anniversary. Halfway through the meal, I slid her phone across the table. Already unlocked. Already open to the messages. "Want to explain this?" I asked. Her fork clattered against the plate, her face drained of color. For a moment, she looked like a deer caught in headlights. Then she laughed. Laughed. "You're being dramatic, Daniel. It's just fun. It doesn't mean anything." That laugh cut deeper than the betrayal itself. It wasn't guilt. It wasn't shame. It was mockery. I didn't yell. I didn't break down. I simply looked her in the eyes and said, "Then I guess you won't mind if I have a little fun of my own." Her smile froze. She knew I wasn't bluffing. That night, I slid a manila folder across the table. Divorce papers. Already drawn up. Already signed. She begged. Then screamed. Then begged again. But it was over. And the best part? Every account, every asset, every detail. Already covered. I had walked into that dinner prepared to walk out free. Weeks later, I heard through mutual friends that she tried to make it work with Mike. But here's the twist. Mike was married too. His wife found out, and he ghosted Emily completely. So now, Emily had nothing. No Mike, no marriage, no home, no life we built together. All because of a phone, all because of a laugh. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't fire or fury. It's silence. It's dignity. It's walking away and letting them choke on the emptiness they created. Emily thought she could treat me like a backup plan. She thought I'd always be there, loyal, patient, forgiving. But she learned the hardest lesson of all. The only thing worse than losing someone's trust is losing their respect. As for me, I didn't just get revenge, I got peace. Picture it. The same woman who laughed in my face, calling her cheating innocent fun, left alone in a half-empty apartment. Ghosted by the man she betrayed me with, watching me move forward with my life. Calm, free, and untouchable. That's revenge. Not the messy kind, the clean kind. If you've ever been betrayed, you know how deep that pain cuts. But sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't what you do to them. It's what you refuse to let them do to you. Thanks for listening to my story. If this gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen or experienced? And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories that will keep you hooked until the very end.